Bamboo. Bamboo is a hard plant with thin branches and leaves.
Outside his home, there's a lot of bamboo.
Blossom. A blossom is a flower or group of flowers.
There were colorful blossoms in the yard.
Compass. A compass is a device used to tell what direction one is going.
A compass is an important tool to have when you are traveling.
Dialect. A dialect is a regional variety of language showing where you are from.
People from the UK have a different dialect of English from those in the US.
Dishonest. If someone is dishonest, they do not tell the truth.
She was being dishonest when she copied the answers from his test.
Dwarf. A dwarf is a creature from stories that often looks like a short, hairy man.
The dwarf had a pleasant look on his face.
Ecosystem. An ecosystem is a group of plants and animals in an area.
The river's ecosystem not only includes fish, but other insects and plants too.
Fatal. If something is fatal, it causes death.
They passed away in a fatal car crash.
Impatient. If someone is impatient, they are not able to wait for things.
Bob was so impatient that he could barely wait for the light to turn green.
Leaf. A leaf is the flat green thing on trees or bushes.
In the fall, the leaves on the trees change colors.
Manuscript. A manuscript is an old book or paper written by hand.
The manuscript was written over 150 years ago.
Marsh. A marsh is a type of wet land covered with grasses and short plants.
The marsh looked so lovely against the mountains.
Patience. Patience is the ability to wait for something without becoming upset.
Sue's patience was rewarded by catching her very first fish.
Perfume. Perfume is a good-smelling liquid that girls wear.
When she wore her perfume, everyone said she smelled great.
Pond. A pond is a very small area of water.
The ducks swam in the pond.
Proverb. A proverb is a short saying that tells you something important.
The proverb, egg on your face, means you've done something embarrassing.
Pursuit. A pursuit is a chase.
The dinosaur was in pursuit of the caveman.
Recite. To recite something means to repeat or say aloud in front of a group.
Katie recited the Pledge of Allegiance in class.
Wilderness. A wilderness is an area where no people live.
If you are not careful, you can get lost in the wilderness.
Anticipate. To anticipate something is to think that it will happen.
Carrie anticipated the arrival of her baby.
Barrel. A barrel is a round thing that you can keep liquids in.
There was an empty barrel outside the house.
Beam. A beam is a heavy bar.
Modern skyscrapers are made with several beams.
Casual. If something is casual, it is relaxed or simple.
You can wear casual clothes to the party like jeans.
Caution. Caution is care and attention in order to avoid danger.
Please use the power saw with caution. It is very dangerous.
Contrary. If something is contrary to something else, it is the opposite.
It isn't warm outside at all. On the contrary, it is quite cold.
Deliberate. If you are deliberate, you do something on purpose.
Bernie made a deliberate attempt to injure Andy.
Dissolve. To dissolve something is to mix it into a liquid and disappear.
I dissolved the pill in a glass of water.
Explode. When something explodes, it blows up.
My new radio exploded when I plugged it in.
Fasten. To fasten something is to close it or put it in the correct place.
Elizabeth fastened her seatbelt.
Germ. A germ is something that makes you sick.
Germs are on everything that you touch.
Kit. A kit is a set of all the things needed to do something.
Is there a first aid kit in your office?
Puff. A puff is a little bit of smoke or steam.
A puff of smoke came from the burnt match.
Rag. A rag is a small towel.
Please use a rag to clean the dust off the table.
Scatter. To scatter something is to make it go in many places.
I accidentally scattered all of my pills.
Scent. A scent is a smell.
Julie enjoyed the scent of the flowers.
Steel. Steel is a shiny gray metal.
The new apartment building was made with steel.
Swift. If something is swift, it is fast.
The swift horse easily jumped over the hurdle.
Toss. If you toss something, you throw it softly.
He tossed a coin into the air.
Triumph. Triumph is what you feel when you win or finish something.
He raised the award in triumph at the end of his speech.
Aboard. When someone is aboard a ship or plane, they are on or in it.
They climbed aboard the kayak and paddled through the river.
Bitter. When a person is bitter, they are upset with someone or a situation.
He was extremely bitter when his computer crashed.
Bullet. A bullet is a small metal object that is shot out of guns.
Bullets come in different sizes for different guns.
Devil. The devil is a powerful evil spirit in some religions.
The church promised protection from the devil.
Drift. To drift means to be moved slowly by wind or water.
The large chunk of ice drifted in the water.
Enforce. To enforce means to make a person follow a rule.
Police enforce traffic laws to keep everyone safe.
Fountain. A fountain is a source of water made by people.
There was a beautiful fountain in the middle of the park.
Harbor. A harbor is an area of water along a shore where boats land.
There were a few small boats in the harbor.
Inhabit. To inhabit means to live in a certain place.
No one inhabits the ancient city.
March. To march means to walk at a steady pace together with others.
The soldiers marched in straight rows.
Millionaire. A millionaire is a person who has at least $1 million.
He became a millionaire because he was smart with his money.
Port. A port is a place where ships stop to load and unload things.
The ship was being loaded with materials at the port.
Sheriff. A sheriff is a police officer who is in charge of a large area.
It was the sheriff's job to make the city safe.
Startle. To startle means to scare someone suddenly.
The loud crash startled the sleeping woman.
Sweat. To sweat means to lose liquid from the body through the skin.
Whenever I work out, I sweat quite a bit.
Trigger. A trigger is the part of the gun that a person pulls to make it fire.
The man had his finger on the trigger of the gun.
Unify. To unify means to bring people or things together.
With their good deeds, the children tried to unify the world.
Vessel. A vessel is a large ship or boat.
We toured the area aboard a luxury vessel.
Voyage. A voyage is a long journey made on a boat or an aircraft.
The astronauts took off on a long voyage to the moon.
Worship. To worship means to like and honor a person, thing, or religious figure.
Many people around the world worship in a church.
Apprentice. An apprentice is a person who learns how to do a job from a skilled person.
Mark is an apprentice chef at the restaurant.
Assure. To assure someone is to tell them something is true to make them less worried.
He assured the boss that the building would be done on time.
Bandage. A bandage is a piece of cloth used to stop bleeding.
If you cut yourself, please get a bandage from the first aid kit.
Bleed. To bleed is to lose blood.
If you are not careful, you will cut your finger and bleed.
Bond. To bond with someone is to become friends with them.
The women bonded after several hours of conversation.
Chef. A chef is a person who cooks in a restaurant.
Tom is a chef at the restaurant near my house.
Crown. A crown is the hat worn by a king or queen.
The crown is made of gold.
Departure. A departure is the act of leaving a place.
They were excited about their departure back home.
Diligent. If someone is diligent, they work hard and are careful.
Craig has always been a very diligent person at work.
Emperor. An emperor is the leader of a group of countries.
The Emperor Julius Caesar was in control of ancient Rome.
Fiber. Fiber is a thread of a substance used to make clothes or rope.
The mat was made from tiny fibers.
Horrible. If something is horrible, it is very bad.
The assignment was horrible. I hated it.
Impolite. If someone is impolite, they are rude.
Roger is impolite to everyone he meets.
Kneel. To kneel is to put one or both knees on the ground.
Daryl got down on one knee and asked Nina to marry him.
Luxury. A luxury is an expensive thing that you do not need.
We stayed at a luxury resort for our honeymoon.
Massive. If something is massive, it is very big.
The wheels on his truck were massive.
Panic. To panic is to feel so nervous or afraid that you cannot think clearly.
Everyone panicked when the house caught on fire.
Priority. A priority is something that is more important than other things.
My priority is to get good grades in school.
Robe. A robe is a long, loose piece of clothing.
Many people wear robes in the morning.
Scold. To scold means to criticize one angrily because they have done wrong.
Jessie was scolded by the teacher for not paying attention.
Affair. An affair is an event or a thing that happened.
My wife and I attended a formal affair over the weekend.
Assembly. An assembly is a group that is together for the same reason.
The students had an assembly to talk about their interests.
Bless. To bless is to ask God for protection or help.
The angel blessed the newborn baby to keep it safe.
Cereal. Cereal is a food that you mix with milk and eat for breakfast.
Cereal is a fast and common breakfast food enjoyed in the U.S.
Cheerful. If someone is cheerful, they are happy or feel good.
The children were cheerful because they didn't have to go to school.
Diameter. The diameter of a round thing is the length across its center.
The diameter of the tree was about 22 centimeters.
Exploit. To exploit something is to use it for greedy reasons rather than good reasons.
The company exploits their workers and makes them stay 12 hours a day.
Famine. A famine is a long time with little or no food.
The farmers couldn't grow any food on the dry soil, so there was a famine.
Harvest. A harvest is the act of collecting food from farming.
They had a lot of wheat from the last harvest.
Merry. If someone is merry, they are very happy.
They felt merry because the weather was great.
Nut. A nut is a hard seed or fruit that comes from some trees and bushes.
To eat a nut, first you have to crack its shell.
Pardon. To pardon is a way to ask someone to repeat what was said before.
Pardon me, teacher, but could you repeat what you just said?
Pharaoh. A pharaoh was a king in ancient Egypt.
The pharaohs ruled Egypt for thousands of years.
Ripe. When a fruit is ripe, it is ready to be eaten.
The cherries were nice and ripe.
Roast. To roast something is to cook it in an oven or over a fire.
Mom roasted a turkey for the holiday dinner.
Routine. A routine is a way of doing things that is the same every time.
My father's daily routine includes shaving right before breakfast.
Scheme. A scheme is a plan or design.
Mickey and Minnie came up with a scheme to solve the problem.
Slim. If something or someone is slim, they are thin.
Look at my new cell phone. It's very slim.
stove. A stove is a device used to cook food.
Our new stove helps us to cook food much faster than before.
Theft. A theft is a criminal act that involves someone stealing something.
The theft of his TV took place when he was at work.
Adolescent. An adolescent is a young person or a teenager.
The adolescent was excited about getting a skateboard for his birthday.